Side 10. Peter knocked at the door and waited, knocked again, and was surprised when the door of number 32 opened. "Hello," said Elsie. "Nay, they're out, lad. Marie's at work, and so's Alf, and Lena's downtown looking at curtain material. Were it something special like? Only I can give them a message when they come home." Peter had been told about Auntie Elsie. Auntie Elsie was wearing a broad smile and a multicoloured turban fashioned from a scarf, plastic rollers peeping out at the front. Marie was plainly fond of this neighbour, so he decided to invest his trust in the woman. "Would you give this letter to Mrs. Martindale, please, and pass on our regards to the family? We are Peter and Meredith Chandler." Elsie, always ready for a gossip, took the envelope and leaned on the door jamb. "You courting, Marie?" she asked. "Only you want me to find a girl, and I should know, because I've known her since she were a baby." She righted herself and took a pace back. "You can come in and wait if you want. Lena won't be long." But Peter, who had been warned of Elsie's wandering tongue, thanked her and returned to his car. Meredith lingered for a moment. She didn't wish to appear curt or rude, so she thanked Elsie profusely before joining Peter. "I still think Mother is mad," she repeated as the Austin pulled away. "She would have to testify against her own husband," replied Peter, "and as it was never a happy marriage, her testimony could be viewed as prejudiced. So he gets away with it." Peter pulled out onto Derby Street and drove towards the town. "Do you want to be pointed out as the girl whose father is being tried for murder? Is that your goal?" "No, but—" "Then leave it as it is. Surely we have enough with the funeral. And stop arguing with Mother. She's lost her very best friend. She needs support, not criticism." They completed the journey home in silence, though Meredith was scarcely able to remain still. It was as if every nerve in her body had become unsheathed, as if her skin had peeled away to leave her open to every available hurt. She was not used to feeling like this. Perhaps she should return to the hotel. Perhaps the Grange was not the place for her. When they reached the house, she jumped out of the car and ran all the way to her room. She needed something. Oh, what would help her through all this? Should she ask the doctor for nerve tablets or a tonic? It was all too much, because everyone insisted on carrying on as if the world had not been shaken on its axis. Was she the only one who felt anything? Flat on her bed, she stared up at the ceiling. There were 12 points on the ceiling rows round the central light fitting, yet she could hardly count the familiar decorations, because even now, in this supine position, she felt like a marionette whose strings were being pulled sharply by a cruel puppeteer. Somewhere behind heavy cloud, the sun was beginning to set on yet another day. And Father was going to get away with murder, quite literally. Why would the room not stay still? She must steady herself, she really must. After 10 minutes of restlessness and torment, Meredith dashed downstairs, made sure that the coast was clear, then returned quickly to her room, a bottle held under her cardigan. She took a mug from the shelf above the wash-basin and half-filled it with sherry. The edge had to be taken off life's cruelties. And it hit her as soon as she had downed the first gulp. She was warm, she was free, and her room was suddenly more colourful. When the cup was drained, most of her worries had melted. Why on earth had it taken so long to find an answer? With a tiny amount of help from time to time, she would be able to cope with almost anything. For a split second, she thought about her father, remembered the Chandler's curse. But the moment passed, and she refilled her cup. She would be able to stop. She was not going to be an old soak like her father, was she? Chapter 8. Lena Martindale sat with her husband at the kitchen table, a cup in one hand, a letter in the other. Her mouth was slightly open, while her eyes scanned the message for the 3rd time. What does she want us there for?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?